Guys, it's a Monday morning and all the doom and gloom guys are out. They get out every day, I guess. Hey, I'm Charles Payne and you're making money. You're watching Making Money. Let's introduce the investment pros. Jim Frischling is with us. President of NewOak Capital, Scotty Nell Hughes is the TPNN.com news director. Hillary Kramer, President and Chief Investment Officer at A&G Capital. A couple of years ago, if you said Bill Gross would be leaving his firm, no one could have imagined that in a million years, and some of the performances that he endured over the last couple of years. So he's had some miscalculations, but Carl Icahn, Jim, has been in the market, and he's been pounding management. Now, granted, he looks for value. I know he recently picked up some Chesapeake and things like that, so he is looking for what he thinks are undervalued stocks, but he is in the market. Yeah, and even, by the way, if we have the crash he's talking about, those undervalued stocks go down too.
Look, I mean, these are two gentlemen, Icahn and Gross, that are really in a unique class. We're not in the beginning of a bull run. I think everyone on the panel would agree with that. Question is how far into this run are we? And I think to a certain extent, it's safe for them to make that call, because if they're wrong or they're wrong by a little while, they're not giving up that much upside for them. They're not impacting their life. So again, I think they're in a unique group that can actually even talk about pulling off, whereas I think we may have a couple years left of this, or at least a year or so. And I think for the average investor, pulling out too soon might impact their life. Taking money off the table might be a little too quick. So again, these guys are in a unique class, and their conservatism to a certain extent, they can play that way. They can talk about it.
Wall Street makes sense.
What's this stock? Okay, you know what? Hell in a handbasket. Yeah. It's finally come here, and all of these guys and gals who've been predicting it for 6 years can take their victory lap. What's the one sort of stock in our portfolio that'll make it feel a little bit better?
Sure, different sector, but same principle of finding companies with great fundamentals. American Express, over the last 5 years, their revenues are up over 30%, their net income up over 80%. They continue to be very shareholder focused.
Didn't they lose a Target deal? Were you worried about that a little bit?
Costco?
You just, was it Costco?
Costco,
yeah.
Yeah, but I actually continue to see, first of all, the usage of credit cards, even as we move to Apple Pay or Google Pay. Fact is, it is a staple, very well run. And again, dividends are increasing, share buybacks, but even in hell in a handbasket, there's a company that continues.
And another area people may consider are utilities as well.
I agree with your point about the faithless recovery, but I actually think it's more than that. I mean, you look at, the companies that went out of business at the start of the crisis, and you look at even the economy today, the disruptors. You look at New York City taxi medallion, which was the surest bet going, has lost significant value because of a Lyft or of an Uber. You look at mature business persons, the fact is their ability to stay in the same job, that is no longer guaranteed. Our manufacturing business, way back. So I do think there's a fear factor that I'm still trying to get my head around.
Let me ask you, Scotty, Jim, what do you think?
No, I think, look, it's always a good time to be evaluating a portfolio. I particularly think, given where we are in the market, taking some profits, we've been talking about it last week, you're not going to go broke booking a profit. Don't worry about it. Maybe increase. I'm a little higher in cash right now than that because, again, I'd like to keep some firepower, for if and when there is a pullback.
That's one of the oldest. We don't have the right to bear arms because of burglars. We have the right to bear arms to resist the supreme power of a corrupt and abusive government. All right, Jim, have they gone too far? I mean, do you agree with that?
I'm a big fan of his movies. I think that comment was a little Jeffersonian for my liking, literally taking the line out of Jefferson's comments, at least so they've been, I guess, attributed to. I actually, as a New Yorker, I'd actually like to see gun control be reined in. That's my view as a New Yorker. I understand people want to protect themselves. His concerns about the abuse of government or tyranny and whatnot, I believe that's a little dated. Again, for my...
Well, it sounds a little Tea Party. Jim Frischling, you've been a fan of the banks. You and those evil bankers, you guys won one today.
Yeah, I think the banks did. And let's note that was a unanimous decision. Look, the fact is, second mortgages, a lot of folks use their homes like a piggy bank machine, like a cash machine, taking out mortgages, and then people wanted to claim they could get rid of that debt by filing for Chapter 7. The court said, absolutely not. That debt doesn't go away, and you're going to have to step up and own that thing, own that risk.
I'm shocked that it got this far. I mean, this to me seems like a no-brainer. The way Jim is explaining it, this is a complete abuse of the system. This is like one of these, everyone's acting dumb.
Growing.
You've liked this for a long time. Do you still like it?
I do, and actually, I appreciate the enthusiasm, but I don't want to compare this to Chuck E. Cheese because these guys have alcohol flowing, and alcohol plays a big part. They are actually a differentiated concept, and what I mean by that is at $10 million sales per store, that compares only to Cheesecake Factory. They are leaps and bounds ahead of their competition, and again, very differentiated. Sports, bar, family friendly, but again, the bar, liquor sales, the margins in that is unique. Chuck E. Cheese doesn't have that. So again,
you want to say one again? The bar.
The bar.
Booze plus kids equals win.
And you get and you're family friendly. I think it's a great call.
Is it too complicated, though, guys, to use in a campaign to talk? Because I think this resonates. It should resonate with regular people because it is encroaching on everyone's life.
You know, we talked tonight about the Supreme Court and some big decisions they made. This, the EPA is in direct conflict with the Supreme Court on this, and they're trying to bend it. I think they're bending it too far, and I don't think I think it's going to die in the vine, but it's going to have to go through the court system now.